Hi, if you're like me and you are the mother of a teen daughter, and you're also the daughter of a woman who wasn't really able to mother you the way you would have liked, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Vanessa of Motherhood Unmasked, and this is an interesting video for me to do. I'm in a reflective mode in light of my experiences as a teenager growing up, wanting and needing to hear from my mother about her life, her experiences, and really coaching from her about what to expect as a girl, as a teen coming into womanhood. What could I expect from the culture at large? What I could expect in my relationships with other females? What I could expect in my relationships with men? What I could expect and what I might see developing in myself and how to navigate all of that. All of those things went unaddressed in my home, which is why I refer to my experience as being undermothered. There are women who are unmothered. They just did not have a mother at all, give any sort of maternal regard to her. But then there are women that I've termed undermothered, whose mother was home in the home with them and who provided for their material needs. But when it came to the emotional space, when it came to affection, when it came to words that affirmed or gave insight into what it meant and what it would mean to be a woman in this world, you sort of had to piece that together for yourself. And as I'm navigating things now with my daughter in a very different way, a very hands on way, very proactive, very interested in being available to communicate to her things that I think are valuable so that she doesn't have to waste time doing things or figuring things out through trial and error. One of the things that has really been concerning to me, and I wonder if you can relate, is helping her navigate her own female relationships. It has in part been triggering for me to have to hear, number one, that she's going through, even on a different scale, maybe even a grander scale, with the impact of social media and how in your face people can be with their venom. It's just been concerning for me to hear about her experiences with other females and how, as much as things have changed, they remain the same. How toxic the interactions can and have been, and how completely unnecessary it is. And having to hear her share that, number one, took me back to being a teenager and having to navigate those things by myself. Because not only was I not prepared for the possibility of them and how to see myself in light of the circumstances and then how to address them, I had to figure that out by trial and error. And hearing her going through them now took me back to that. And so then I had, you have to process that in the moment and then turn around and have hopefully a more helpful answer than the ones you piece together for yourself. And I don't know if we think about that when we come into motherhood, especially when we're mothering daughters, and especially when our own experience as daughters has been one that has really been fraught with confusion or the sense of being unwanted, or the sense of, from the first the first female that you have a relationship with, if she has given you the sense that you are a bother, or that she doesn't know what to do with you, or that you're more trouble than you're worth, any of those things, for reasons that may not have been intentional at all. She's just operating according to the bandwidth and the understanding and the knowledge and the experiences she has had, negative as they may have been, but now putting them onto you, and now it becomes a burden for you to carry. When you are managing all of that, it's hard to not only see yourself positively, you have to work extra hard to see yourself positively and to see your daughter positively, and then to give her the sense that you are a safe person, so that we don't continue the narrative that women are problematic. What we have done to each other over who knows how much time, maybe from the fall in the garden. But we just see each other as a threat. We see each other as competition. We see each other as someone who, in the back of our minds, we need to expect the worst of. We need to be prepared to put her away. We don't really need a whole lot of reason why, because we're already expecting her to be a problem. And we sort of enter into friendships. And I wonder how often this happens, even with women who have had great experiences growing up with their mom, who felt loved, who felt affirmed as women, who felt celebrated, who felt seen, all the things. There are still so many women labeled collectively as women as being drama queens, as being, you know, that's what happens when women get together. Is just always going to be something popping off that's negative and all those connotations. And how much are we feeding into that, and how much are we wasting the opportunity we have as mothers to shift that narrative? As I said earlier, mothers are the first female relationship of their daughters, and we have the opportunity to shape their expectation, in their relationships with other females. We set the tone. If we are safe people, if we are people who prioritize communication over clamor, and by clamor, I mean using emotion as an excuse to make a whole lot of noise, but not use it to bring closure, to be a launching point for conversation. It's almost as if we feel however we feel about what's going on, and instead of being willing to have a conversation with the woman or the girl in question that we have the issue with, we just jump right to cutting them off, believing the worst. And you know what? When we do that as women, what you're really saying is that you don't like yourself, because she's a woman just like you. She's a girl just like you. She's experiencing the same cultural connotations. That she's thought as negatively as you are. She's believed to be as problematic as you are. And when you feel that you're in competition with her, or you feel insecure with her, you're saying that you can't trust yourself either. That there's something about you that is inherently negative, that should not be trusted. And that's something that we as women need to work through. We need to acknowledge, we need to work through. We can't continue to blame other women for that. We need to accept that this is a mindset that we have absorbed, may have even inherited from our relationships with our mothers, whether it was implicitly said or implied. We have grown up with this sense that we cannot be trusted. And therefore, when you see another woman, you see yourself, and you are quick to think she cannot be trusted either. And so I guess I have a particular sensitivity to that in light of how I grew up, and wanting my daughter, even though she cannot change those around her, but to be that support for her, to be that encouragement, to be that constant voice, and that loving hug of support that says, you are not defined by people's preconceived notions about you, female or otherwise, whoever has these notions. You are defined by who God says you are, and it is supported by how you show up in the world consistently, in spite of how others may consider you. And it's probably the insecurity of one that has spread and triggered the insecurity of many. You don't have to join in that fray. That she doesn't have to come in agreement with them. She doesn't have to now second guess herself. She doesn't have to think that this is going to be her lot for the rest of her life. That there are women out there who are confident, who are secure in who they are, and who will see her for who she is and befriend her at that level, and to stay open to that, to not pick up the narrative that all women are trouble and all women need to be thought of as problematic. You've got to stop that. And I'm hoping that by sitting down and being transparent in this way, it starts a conversation. It starts a conversation in your own heart. It starts a conversation with your own daughter about how you can support her in her journey into womanhood, how you can coach her because of the things you have experienced. And so, when it comes to you being the mother of your children, of your daughter, you are the woman for the job. Keep doing the good work. Take care.